All right. I think we're up. Cool. There we are. All right, we're up. All right. Good evening, everybody. I'm, again, classical naturopath, Dr. Chris Knutson. Following with the theme of the last couple months, we're just going to kind of get right into it here tonight. Last couple months, we've been talking about digestive health. We've been talking about circulatory health. We've been talking about a whole lot of different things. And tonight, we're going to kind of continue that theme, and we're going to start talking about detoxification. So this kind of goes in the vein of everything we've been talking about before. But tonight, we're going to get kind of a little bit more specific. Instead of talking about a general system individually, whether it's whether it's talking about just the digestive system or just the circulatory system or et cetera, we're going to be focusing a little bit, broader on the detoxification of the entire system. And we're kind of going to go step by step through a bunch of different things. So don't mind the people in the background. They are supposed to be here. So basically, when you're talking detoxification, you really want to focus firstly on the gut, obviously. Everything goes through the gut, and if the gut is accumulated a whole bunch of sludge or toxins, nothing's really going to function properly. So to start with, we're going to throw a couple things for detoxifying the gut. Now, with that, you got a couple options. Nothing super complicated. Firstly, you can do any of the standard detoxes or cleanses or whatever. There's billions of them out there, and some of them are, you might as well just jump headfirst into purgatory. They're about that miserable. If you want to be married to, the loo for the next 3 to 5 days, there's a lot of options out there, but there are a few easier options that don't necessarily tie you to the toilet. First thing is, when cleaning out the gut, one of the things you have to think about is anything that has accumulated over the last some years. Now, when I'm talking accumulations, I'm actually talking physical material that has glommed onto the sides of the digestive tract or that has accumulated in the folds of the digestive tract. Now, that sounds pretty gross, but it's actually quite common. Usually, a lot of this is, believe it or not, composed of old food, undigested food in some cases. Bread is a big one. Mostly because gluten is really, really sticky, and the word glue actually derives from gluten. And while I'm not saying that it's necessarily the totally evil thing, I eat bread, sue me. With a lot of heavy gluten foods in your diet, sometimes that stuff can get sticky, it can accumulate and build up in the lining of the digestive tract, impairing absorption by just clogging the pipe, as it were. For example, just to give you a really horrendous idea of that, I believe it was John Wayne. After he died, they did the autopsy. Everybody knows he had that nice big belly towards his last few years. They found that he had over 100 pounds of material accumulated in his GI tract. It's actually not that uncommon. Sounds disgusting, very, very real. So a couple things you can do to start cleaning out the tract itself. One of the things you can do is you can use diatomaceous earth, which is actually an ultrafine silica from a type of marine seashell. It's actually from a type of plankton. Diatomaceous earth is a fine powder. You can mix it in a juice, mix it in water, whatever, drink it down once or twice a day. That can help start cutting through and breaking up a lot of those accumulations. Bentonite clay, charcoal, same ideas. You can start breaking up and loosening up and removing some of those accumulations. If you're an extremely brave person, you could go for colonic hydrotherapy, which is basically a glorified enema to really clean the pipe out. Works. Not exactly what most people will go for, but it works. So basically starting to use some things to clean the tube out. Another really good thing to think about is just going for, a couple days of juice fasting. And this would be like Dr. Max Gerson's juices, apple, carrot, celery, beets, things like that. Lots of nutrition. So you'll get lots of nutrition over that day or two. The idea of a juice fast is to give the gut a break, allow all of that accumulated material to move through, and basically start fresh. And so that's an couple easy things. Another easy one to use is slippery elm powder. I know I've mentioned that for a bunch of different things, especially with digestive health in the past. It kind of has, when you mix it with water, it kind of makes a goopy stuff, works kind of like charcoal. It absorbs toxins out of the GI tract and helps carry them through. So there's a couple little just tidbits, snippets of things you can do to clean the GI tract. Now, I mentioned juices, and I'm not going to hammer that super hard, but just to give you guys an idea of how that can be helpful. Like I say, if you do a couple days of a juice fast, it can help just move things through by giving your system a break from solid material. The other thing is, again, it is extremely concentrated nutrition because your body's not fighting the excess fiber. Yes, you do need fiber in your diet, but every once in a while it's nice just to give the gut a break. You know, breaking all that stuff down, moving it through is a lot of work, and just like any other muscle in the body, sometimes it needs to rest. And so periodically giving your body that break can be very, very helpful. So see lots of bubbles coming up on the side of my screen. It's kind of fun. So anyways, yeah, so giving the body that break, doing those juices. My favorite is basic Gerson juice. It's after Dr. Max Gerson. It's basically, if you have a juicer, especially a Champion or Norwalk, one of the nice screw press juicers that are really efficient, 3 large carrots, 2 celery stalks, 1 Granny Smith apple. That makes about 1 glass of juice. I'll say that again. It's 3 large carrots, 2 celery stalks, and a Granny Smith apple. Couple of those, you know, a day just for ordinary health, super boost of nutrition. Otherwise, if you actually want to do a juice fast, you will be taking, you know, 8 to 10 of those a day just to, you know, keep it moving through and give your giving your body, you know, quite a bit of that nutrition. Plus, it will make you so you don't want to eat the woodwork, because most people want to chew on things when they're on a juice fast. Yeah, it just gives you, you know, a really deep nutrition, gets into the cells, and actually helps loosen cellular toxins by giving your body that big boost of nutrition. Another thing you can use is the Go Green. The Go Green is a fantastic blend that, you know, I've worked with a lot of people who don't have the time, the energy, the tools, whatever, to use the to juice their own vegetables. Using the Go Green can be a really quick, easy way to get a lot of those nutrients really, really fast. Now, when we're going to switch to slightly deeper detoxification for just a couple of minutes. That's an initial thing you can do to clean out your gut, because if the gut's clean, it's a lot easier to clean out everything else. Now, couple things, and these are a lot of things that I talk in my when I'm talking about the machines. You know, when I'm talking about the Chi machine, the ceramic heater, the e-power, the et cetera, et cetera. I talk about this a lot, you know, in those discussions, and I'll talk about a couple of those things real quick, just in reference to detoxification. The big ones, in my opinion, just to really get, you know, a quick hammer detox, is the Chi machine and the ceramic heater. The reason for it is this. So the ceramic heater, we'll start with that. By giving you that far infrared light that penetrates deeply into the body, sometimes inches into the body, and warming the body. Okay, that's great. Warm the body, increases circulation. We've talked about that before. Okay, better circulation means better nutrient flow, etc. Okay, great. Another thing that it does is by heating the fat cells themselves. Okay, think about butter. What happens to butter when you heat it? It melts. Now, granted, we're talking fat cells. Well, what happens to a steak when you put it on the grill? A lot of that fat melts. Now, granted, that's a lot higher heat than you're going to be putting on your body. I would not suggest pulling a St. Lawrence and getting yourself roasted. But I would say, using the ceramic heater, what happens is, as that penetrates, it heats up those fat cells, which start to soften. The lipid shell, basically the cell wall, starts to soften and loosen, and it gets a lot easier for material to move in and out of that fat cell, which makes it easier, actually, for that fat cell to release the toxins that's been capturing. A lot of the chemical toxins that go into your body, if the body can't flush them out right away, it packs them away in fat cells, because that's a safe storage spot where it's not going to poison you. So every once in a while, cleaning out those fat cells, it's not necessarily losing fat per se, but cleaning the toxins out of the fat cells that they're storing. Cleaning that out can be very, very beneficial to overall health because the toxic burden has been lessened. So as you reduce that toxic burden, overall health just keeps going up and up and up and up. So that's the first thing, using the ceramic heater. Opens things up, loosens things, and it, again, increases circulation. So you got more flow going, you got more nutrients in, more toxins out. The biggest thing, though, in that case, if you're talking machines, is the chi machine. Here's why. That oscillating motion that the chi machine causes, we talk about it in reference to circulation, we talk about it in reference to spinal health, but the biggest thing is the detoxification you get from stimulating the lymphatic system. The lymphatic system is the sewer system of the body, you could say. Yes, it moves some nutrients too, but think about it this way. The circulatory system moves lots of nutrients and a few toxins. The lymphatic system moves lots of toxins and a few nutrients. And so that's a good way to kind of think of it in your mind. The lymphatic system is almost a mirror image of the circulatory system. It's the second set of piping in your body. Now, its job is to move the junk out and to help balance your hydration. Now, you want to be extremely hydrated when you're doing any sort of detox. You want to be drinking 2 to 3 liters of water minimum every day when you're doing any sort of detox whatsoever, sometimes upwards of a gallon if you're doing a really, really heavy detox, because you want to keep the body hydrated. If you're loosening toxins, if you're moving toxins through the body, you need to give the body lots and lots of water so that it's able to flush those toxins out through the kidneys, through the bowels, through the skin, through whatever means necessary. If you're dehydrated, all of those toxins just sit in circulation and you kind of get sort of an autotoxicity. It's self-poisoning. Bad plan. Got to be hydrated. Got to be very, very, very hydrated. Now, if you're using the chi machine, what this does, that oscillating motion, actually helps pump the lymph nodes. The lymphatic system is like a siphon pump. It doesn't have a pump like the heart that's boom, 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 moving stuff all the time. It's like a siphon pump. If you ever, siphoned any liquid material, you can buy those little gas siphons for lawnmowers and stuff. It's a little tube that goes to a bulb and a little tube out. You squeeze the bulb and it pumps the liquid in, pumps the liquid through. Sorry about the phone ringing in the background. Please ignore that. Lymphatic system is the same way. You've got lots of nodes going through the body. You've got 4 primary nodes, one in each armpit and one on either side of the groin, and you've got dozens of other smaller nodes throughout the rest of the body. They're pumped by muscular motion. It is the motion of the muscles that pumps those lymph nodes. If the body's not in motion, those lymph nodes aren't getting pumped, which means the toxins aren't getting removed from your system. So the key is be in motion. Now, if for some reason, whether it's poor health or the ubiquitous bad excuse, no time, which is really no excuse, or whatever your excuse is for not exercising or not moving or not whatever, using the chi machine can help give you a little bit of that benefit that you would get from exercise. Not building strength, not building muscle, not building stamina, but the benefit you get of detoxification. Because as you're in that oscillating motion on the chi machine, what it's doing is pumping those lymph nodes, moving that lymphatic fluid through, and cleaning all those toxins out. Now, if you're using the ceramic heater and the chi machine together, you're loosening toxins, moving toxins, eliminating toxins. If you want a really powerful program to do, and you don't want to do like a weekend crazy detox binge, I could teach you how to do those too, but not tonight. If you want just something you can do every day for general detoxification every day, what I would suggest is this. This is kind of, what I do when I have the option, depending on where in the country or the world I am. I travel a lot. If I have my machines around or I'm around somebody who's got machines, what I like to do is I'll lay in the ceramic heater. It's full soaky bed. I love the soaky bed. Soaky bed for an hour with the chi machine at the beginning for 2 to 5 minutes, depending on how long you've been using the chi machine. Again, you want to start slow with the chi machine, 2 minutes to begin with. Couple minutes on the chi machine, get things moving through, and myself, because I'm up to about 10 minutes on the chi machine, I'll do that. I'll do 10 minutes on the chi machine, half an hour to an hour in the soaky bed in the morning, and the same in the evening. Now, during the day, I'll drink 2 to 3 liters of water and take a couple glasses. I like to double scoop the Go Greens instead of 1 scoop in a glass. I put 2 scoops in a glass, but that's me. I like green sludge. It tastes really good though. Double scoop of Go Greens twice a day. You're getting those nutrients, you're getting the water, you're getting the motion, you're getting detoxification from multiple different angles that way. Now, I will throw in one little tidbit for those of you that are a little bit crazy like me. Generally speaking, I would go with something like I just described. Using the Chi Machine, using the ceramic heater, using Go Greens, drinking tons and tons and tons of water. Even if you're not trying to detox, drink tons and tons and tons of water. I cannot emphasize that enough. Just to give you a quick example, if anyone's ever heard of Dr. Batmangahildy, it's a funny name, Indian doctor. This is going to be a really quick, short anecdote. Dr. Batmangahildy was a political prisoner in India way back during the, political drama decades ago. Basically thrown in something akin to the Black Hole of Calcutta, tiny little prison. He was a physician. And all of these other prisoners in there were sick of all sorts of things. You name a disease, it was in those prison cells. And they had cells that were, a quarter mile long just about, full of hundreds of people. And he was in one of these things as a political prisoner. And the only thing he had was salt and water. And so because he still felt sorry for these people, he was still a physician. He wanted to treat them. And even though he asked the guards, they wouldn't give him any medicine, he used salt and water. And that alone, he discovered many, many ways to cure many, many diseases just by getting people drinking enough water and detoxifying their body. Again, you can look him up. He's got a number of books. I'll just type in his name real quick here. Batmangahildy. I think that's how you spell it. It's a crazy Indian name that is very, very hard to spell and even harder to pronounce. I may have spelled it slightly wrong, but if memory serves me right, there you go. But yeah, just a good thing to look into. There's a number of books out there that he wrote based on those experiences after he was released from prison. Dr. Batmangahildy, lots of really, really cool information. But again, drink lots and lots and lots and lots of water, because that's your first line of defense for any sort of illness. Drink lots of water, keep your body clean that way. Now, again, I told you I'd give you one little tidbit for those of you that are a little crazy like me and might want a slightly more powerful detox just to get yourself going. I'm going to tell you something that our grandparents knew about. I would not use this in excess because it will not be fun. Castor oil. I know it sounds horrible. It is horrible, actually. When I was in India, I studied Ayurvedic medicine. I studied Panchakarma therapy, all those kind of things. And yes, even still today, castor oil is one of the detoxes of choice for cleaning the system. 2 tablespoons of castor oil on an empty stomach in the morning that you plan to detox, and within an hour, and followed by hot water. Hot lemon water is the best, but followed by a cup or 2 of hot water. And within an hour or so, you will decide that the toilet is your very best friend. Generally speaking, a person can expect a couple hours of excellent motions to clean things out. Again, I do not suggest that for everybody, but for those of you who have been detoxing before, have been, are familiar with this, their body is used to it, etc., there's a little tidbit. You can try it, but again, I warn you, very, very not fun. I personally would suggest, again, utilizing things like juicing, doing a juice fast for a couple days. Again, that's 8 to 10 or more, 8 to 12 ounce glasses of juice every day with that ratio we suggested before, 3 carrots, 2 celery sticks, 1 Granny Smith apple. You can throw other vegetables on top of that. Throw in a beet, throw in a cucumber, throw in a little bit of ginger. There's a lot of things you can use. Throw in some turmeric, excellent. Anti-inflammatory with detox, can't beat it. Throw in other vegetables as well, but use those 3 as your base, because that gives you the sodium, potassium, malic acid ratio necessary to help balance your electrolytes in your body, stimulate detoxification, and really get things going to begin with. So we covered a lot of different things. Again, this was kind of a crash course kind of thing in detoxing. We didn't really cover anything in depth, but it gives you a handful of ideas that many of you probably already knew about for getting a good detox, getting your body starting to clean itself out. 2 best things you can do for yourself: get in motion and drink lots of water. I can't emphasize that enough. Get in motion. You need to be moving, whether it's running on an elliptical or swimming or jogging or, I don't know, martial arts, whatever. Get moving because you got to get that lymph system moving. The more you move, the better you'll feel. That's all there is to it. So that kind of sums up what I got for you guys tonight. Again, just a little kind of tidbits for you. Thanks for listening, and I hope to see you all again next time. Thanks again.